Hi, I'm Jonny Rants from CrashLove Gaming, and I got something I gotta get off my chest. Crash Bandicoot. If you watched my E3 Sony press conference reaction and summary, you know that obviously Crash Bandicoot was actually, there has been a major development for the first time in probably over 5 years. The last one was the announcement they were working on that. They're working on a title back, and I think it was around 2010-ish. A game never even got to pre-alpha. It was just I forget who was working on it. It was someone under Activision though, and it never fucking went anywhere. Anyway, I just want to rant to you right now about why I think a new Crash Bandicoot game is a 100% no-brainer, and that the owners of the Crash Bandicoot license right now, who I believe is still Activision, are totally fucking up by just not doing this. Okay, first of all, every single Crash Bandicoot game released since the PlayStation 1 has been arguably mediocre for a variety of reasons. You have Wrath of Cortex, Crash Twinsanity, Crash Nitro Kart, those should probably be in reverse order, Crash Tag Team Racing, Crash of the Titans, and Crash Mind Over Mutant. All were okay, but all of them, I was looking up some sales numbers. Even Crash of the Titans, which was actually the last game I played, I never played Mind Over Mutant. They redesigned the entire character. They redesigned everything. They did a total overhaul of everything. But the thing is, you could tell just by the way the game was designed, how it was released, what consoles it was released on, the fact that it was multi-platform. It was released on everything from the DS to the Xbox 360. It was ported. It was not given that big of a production budget. It was not really treated as a big title. It was not really treated as, it was kind of treated as something that probably was going to fail anyway. And that's the whole moral of this story, is when you set something up to fail, it's going to fail. Okay? Crash has a very near and dear place in my childhood. But the thing is, even Titans sold over, I believe across consoles, it was about 2.3 million copies. That's not bad for a low budget game that was pretty much set up to fail. That is not bad. A redesign. Okay. Twinsanity. That was, in my opinion, the last 2004 this game was released. It was, in my opinion, the last time that, I know I'm jumping around timeline wise, but that was the last time that Crash Bandicoot really had a major console release that was hyped. That was kind of like people thought, okay, this might be a big deal. This might actually be really good. And it ended up, I'm not going to say flopping, but ended up being largely mediocre. And the fact of the matter is, the reason why that happened was there was a lot of development issues with the game. The studio was switched mid-development. They had a time crunch at the end, had to rip out a lot of content, and the game ended up uber short. You can see, though, if you play that game had a ton of potential to be a modern platforming classic, but it fell so short of its mark because of the aforementioned reasons. And that's really what I'm talking about here, is how every single Crash Bandicoot game since the PlayStation 1 has pretty much been set up from the get-go to fail. They have been set up to fail, and that is why they have failed. And a modern Crash game, let's get on to why a modern Crash game would be and should be a no-brainer. First of all, there is a dearth of quality console platformers right now. Almost every major... Alright, well, we're ignoring the indie market right now, so don't fucking shoot me. But I'm talking about big budget or medium budget or basically big studio-backed platformers. Everything platformer-related pretty much seems to be going the way of indie, or, well, for the most part, seems to be going the way of indie. The last time that I can remember a big platformer being hyped was Knack for PS4, and that didn't do too great, from what I understand. But the fact of the matter is, there's a dearth in the console market. Crash Bandicoot, everybody knows nowadays, everybody's all about fucking nostalgia. 90s kids feel like they're goddamn special. I'm a 90s kid, technically. And anytime there's even a mention of any type of pop culture in the 90s having a resurgence, there's always huge hype, huge excitement. You could tell at E3 when they did the announcement for Crash Bandicoot, there was huge anticipation. The crowd had they heard the Crash music, their jaw was dropped, and they were anticipating an announcement of a new Crash game, which a long time coming, but instead we got our remaster announcement and Skylanders, which is again covered in my E3 video. Be that as it may, Crash just has an opportunity, right? So we have dearth of console platformers, 90s nostalgia. The fact of the matter is, it would not be too difficult if they wanted to not make it a major budget release to put Crash, give it to an indie studio. I know we talked about in our EA press conference. EA is going to be kind of doing supporting indie games right now. Crash is still owned by Activision. Activision has kind of been known to be the place where franchises go to die. They haven't really had a ton of success in the recent years. That's one of the, I mean, just sell the damn Crash license, Activision. Sell it to someone. Sell it to fucking EA, for God's sake. Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, another game that we play very often on this channel. The new one that made by EA, not necessarily the best game ever, had much less content than arguably than the PlayStation 2 Battlefronts, but the game was still very solid. It was very tight. It was well made, and it sold a lot of copies, and it's still a popular online game because it was made well, and because they took that plunge and they put their budget into the game and they put their marketing efforts into the game, and, well, also because it's Star Wars. But beyond that, we have our, again, we have our dearth of console platformers. Crash has an opportunity. We have our nostalgia factor. You could put Crash to an indie studio. So that's three things. And number 4, let me think of a number 4 real quick. Number 4, Crash has not really had a title that has had backing since PlayStation 1. It's kind of like they just let the franchise die. And it's not really like there was... I can kind of understand that the games were underperforming, but at the same time, as I previously mentioned, they were kind of set up to fail from the get-go in terms of where they were. I still like them. A lot of Crash fans still like them, but the fact of the matter is that ain't the bulk of the market. The bulk of the market is going to want a polished game, and they're not necessarily going to appreciate fan service as much as fans of the series. Also, there's a bug down there. Also, the fact of the matter is, I personally have been wanting a damn Crash game forever, and I just want that damn Crash game to come out, because then we can finally fucking put it to rest. Like, what would happen if Crash actually came out with a serious, budgeted, a title with a budget? There was a title that was actually released on current consoles. Because the other thing is that the last few Crash games that were released, they were released on previous gen consoles. It came out in 2007, Crash of the Titans, in 2008, Crash Mind Over Mutant, and they were released they were released and designed for the PlayStation freaking 2 in 2008. Okay, the market, I mean, I know the PS2 was still pretty popular at that point, but it was old freaking hat. PS2 was an 8-year-old console, and it was already 2 years past the end of its life cycle by the time that game came out, by the time Mind Over Mutant came out for it. So it's obvious that the game is not going to sell as well as a AAA first-party title for current consoles. Now we're up to the PlayStation 4. Development costs have skyrocketed, so Crash needs a serious-ass studio to back it. There's been petitions cycling online for years and years and years to get a new-ass Crash game out. But I think, to be honest, the real problem is that Activision has a damn license to the game. So finally, my final reason why Crash should... Shit, it just slipped. God damn it. Hold on. Cut. Finally, my 5th reason why Crash Bandicoot should get a new, budgeted, decent, released, maybe not necessarily a big budget title, but should get a new title, is because it's been done so many times with attempted and successful resurrections of old franchises. Battlefront, as I mentioned. Even stupid shit that was nowhere near as popular as Crash, like fucking Splatterhouse. Come on, man, that came out with a... I know that game that game kind of flopped. Maybe it's not a good example. But Doom, another one, another modern example. Doom got a new game for the first time since whenever Doom 3 came out, right? The thing is, we've been seeing that the thing is, people want fan service, and that's what Crash does not, Activision does not realize. They try to reboot the franchise. They try to redesign Crash. They try to remake the games. You don't have to remake it. You just got to modernize it. You just got to update it. You just got to make it good. Good games will sell, and recognizable characters will sell because people like them, people know them. And you're not going to get anywhere by redesigning the character and changing everything about the series and then going, well, why did it fail? Because you gave it no budget and you made it bad. Okay? So that's my Crash Bandicoot rant about the game. Give us a new Crash game. Activision, sell the fucking license to someone who's going to do something with it other than make another damn Skylanders game that nobody cares about, you know. And while you're at it, make a new Spyro game at the same time. All right, that's the video. Subscribe to CrashLove Gaming. Stone Mountain 64. I'm still coming for you. No, link his channel. Link his channel right there. Subscribe to Stone Mountain 64, and also Stone Mountain. I'm sure you got at least one subscriber from our plugs, our useless plugs on our 30 subscriber channel. But Stone Mountain, fucking collab with me, and I'm coming for you. Until next time, This is Jonny Rants with CrashLove Gaming, signing out. TTYL.